Hi everybody, welcome to Jake Showcase. I do videos on Wednesdays. Today, I'm going to tell you about a date disaster that you just can't make up. So you see in high school, basically, like I've explained, I asked out all these different girls, and basically I was getting nowhere. This just wasn't for dances. This was for, basically any sort of progress within my high school, and I basically had to abandon ship. Luckily, in our city, we had a lot of different high schools, and so there was other high schools that, who knows, maybe I'd meet somebody there. See, I had this one friend that, I forget how I met him. Anyway, he was kind of like a real sort of, into the green. This fella, like, never went to class. And, I don't know if guys, what good-looking guys are, but he didn't really seem all that attractive, yet all the girls liked him. I couldn't tell, the long hair, the shaggy dress, and kind of just a slow demeanor, but he always had the old green on him. Maybe that's why they like. This guy always had a girlfriend, and, girls would always be coming over to him. Anyway, one time he had a girlfriend, and I ended up going on a date with him, and she had brought her friend. Her friend was absolutely spectacular, at least to me. She was blonde, she was tall, she was lanky, quite pretty, with the nice eyebrows. I was I liked her a lot. Anyway, somehow we would start going out on these, kind of quasi double dates. And I call it quasis because, sometimes she would like me and sometimes she would sort of brush me off. And I just never could tell, where I was at, but I was always trying to, pursue her. A big part of my thing is talking on the phone. I can talk real good. That's sort of my big strength. And so I would talk with this girl on the phone quite a bit. We get together, I'd always try to slide the old hand over there and we'd be holding hands, usually in the car. You see, that was one thing I could do. You see, because I had a big station wagon, giant big station wagon. It was meant for 9 people in our family, right? And I would be driving, right? Now this guy here in the back, he'd be with his girlfriend, usually up in the clouds. I never did any of that stuff though, so that wasn't for me. Kind of way it was set up is that, he'd be with his girlfriend and his girlfriend was treating him real good in the back seat there, and I'd be slowly trying to work my way in there with the real pretty one. We went out a couple times, we went to a couple movies, and basically, I'd be holding hands with this girl in the movies or in the car pretty regularly, but it was always sort of a question. That was like my highlight. Basically for me, I didn't know what else to do except hold hands. That's all I know. All I knew is that was good. That means she likes you. So this one time, we ended up going all the way out to the west end of the city, which is where she lived, to pick her up. See, the way our city was broken down is basically the further west you are, the richer you are. And she was at the furthest end of the city, right? So she was a rich girl, and she went to a different high school that was with, where the rich people went. I don't know how rich she was, but she was definitely in sort of the upper class area. So for me, being kind of in the lower class area, it was like, wow. So there was us. Me and my buddy, we go and pick up the 2 girls. So the girlfriend there jumps in the back seat as usual, and my kind of girlfriend kind of jumps in the front seat. And, off we go. I think we went to McDonald's or something like that, but the game plan for this particular date was to go back to my house and have a makeout session. At least that's what I was planning. This was going to be the day. This was going to be the day we're going to go to that next level. I had all planned out. I was in the backseat, didn't need to wait to get no house to do no makeout session. They were going right out in the back there. And, my buddy there, he was lighting up, all the green, and it was all, it was smelly, but you let it go. It was a big party with the music on. Slowly sneaking my hand over. That's right, grab her hand there. I love driving and holding their hand. That's a pretty good driver, All I really like to do is, drink. But of course, when you're driving, you can't drink. And I was so I was sort of like the designated driver. What happened is we got back to my house and pulled in the driveway. And in that driveway, what happened is that all of a sudden something happened. I don't know what happened in the back there. All of a sudden, he started getting real sick. When I say real sick, I'm talking about real sick. So first he started throwing up. I've seen that before. I thought, oh, maybe he's drunk or maybe he's high or something like that. And, but this was real sick, and he was really throwing up. The girlfriend over there, she starts thinking that she did something, Anyway, he started, throwing up. It was terrible. thought, oh no, I gotta get this guy in my house, right? He needs to sleep it off. That's what I thought. Anyway, I go in the back to try to pull him out, my sub 100 pounds of me. I open the door, and this guy is like dead weight. He had gone unconscious and was like dead weight, and I didn't know if he was alive or what was going on with this guy. I started moving for a few minutes, but I realized that, something was seriously wrong, like his eyes were like frozen open or something like that. So I thought, oh no, this is absolutely terrible. Honestly, I didn't know what to do. So I thought, you know what, we gotta get this guy to the hospital. We drove over to the emergency room, and the people from the hospital came out and took the guy in. They rushed him right in. They didn't even check him in or nothing. Girls were crying because they weren't sure what was the matter with him, and it was kind of like a real upsetting thing. And it turned out that the guy had a brain aneurysm. After about half an hour, they said that they were bringing him into the operation for a brain surgery, and I took the girls home. I sat there for all night waiting for my buddy to find out what happened to him, if he's alright or not. Turned out he had to be in there for multiple weeks, and the family sort of just wanted to have it family only. He had to be in a sort of a special unit. Went and visited him a couple times, but it became pretty apparent that his whole life was going to be changing real soon. Everything kind of got slowed down for him. He had to cut all his hair off, and he was he was ill for a while. And I tried to keep up with him, but we kind of fell apart because he had to go and do different things. And as far as the girls go, basically it was such a traumatic event that everything sort of fell apart. And I might have called her one other time or something like that, but basically that fell apart. It was too traumatic for all of us. So there you go. I tried my best going to another school. I found a pretty girl, finally. And she was younger too. She was a couple years younger, which I really liked. Finally found somebody, and I had it all planned out right, and that's what happens. The stories, Thanks for watching Jake Showcase, everybody. Don't forget to like my video below and subscribe to my channel up above. I do my videos on Wednesdays. I hope you have a wonderful day.